Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of A Woman's Prerogative here on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you again with another exciting topic. Tonight's topic is trends that stand the test of time. Joining me is my dear friend who is on the other side of the world, a day ahead of us, and always has a smile on her face. Her name is MARISKA, and she is also one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads. She has been doing this show, A Woman's Prerogative, and Talking Heads for years now. I would say probably 4 years. So she really is an expert. Please do go and follow her playlists over on our YouTube channels, which are USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Let's welcome MARISKA to the program and find out how she's been helping change lives with the incredible skill sets that she has, all of her certifications when it comes to be a top-notch coach. Welcome, MARISKA. Hello.
Hello, and thank you for having me and having me back.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. As always, we always have fun. In fact, afterwards in the chat, we typically write, well, that was fun. That was a good show. It's nice when you can laugh and enjoy yourself while you're doing your work. Yes.
Yes. That isn't that what work is supposed to be about?
It really is. But, you know, some people take work so seriously, but they're miserable. So we can take our work seriously and still have fun. And that's what I love.
Yes, that's the way to go.
For sure. So for those who don't know, you haven't met you yet, we always have new people joining us. Tell people a little bit about the work that you do and how you can help people in our audience.
So I am a leadership development partner. And what this means is within the education space, as well as within our own learning and growth space, that's where I partner with leaders as well as teams and up and coming leaders, depending on where you are finding yourself at that stage in time, to help bring more humanness into your work environment. Now, as you may or may not be aware, AI is a very big, hot topic. Most probably why we have the trends that stands the test of time type of thing today. Who knows? AI may or may not stand the test of time. What does stand the test of time at the moment, though, is the fact that we are all human. And bringing some of that humanness into your workspace is really what I help with. For leaders as well as teams, and finding ways to work well together. Now, as I mentioned, whether you are a new leader stepping into leadership or whether you are an existing leader and you are stepping up in your leadership journey, there's always new things for us to do and to learn and to be. And that is, for most of the people that I work with, the most tricky piece, because they learn all these wonderful things and read all these wonderful books, and then to put it in practice is sometimes the place where we find things fall over, and that's then where I would come in. So that's the very lengthy way of sharing what it is that I do. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you very much. And by the way, since we're talking about trends that stand the test of time, the holidays are coming. What a great idea to get these USA Global TV and radio coasters. I can't show. Why isn't it showing? There we go. Anyway, we have a lot of cool products that you can get over on our website. So we'll talk about that for another time. So, when you came up with this topic, the first thing that came to mind for me were fashion trends. And so there are a lot of trends with fashion that come and go. One of them I was thinking was bell bottoms. But I think being dressed like a lady has always stayed in style. Now, maybe what that looks like could be different, especially where you are in the world. But I do think that a trend that has stood the test of time is looking professional and polished. What are your thoughts?
Yes, it's interestingly enough, as I went through you asked me the question, what is it that we are going to talk about today? And I'm frantically searching on Google, what's happening in the world at the moment, and what are people interested in? And my question to it was, well, what's trending? And then I thought, well, what might be trends that actually stay in fashion all the time? And that was something that for me also came up first, is clothing and the way that we dress. It is a personal and trendy thing to do. And yes, I mean, leather jackets, the black dress, right? All of those sort of things are things that typically stay in fashion.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I used to really be into designer shoes and designer bags, and now I'm typically wearing sneakers that have some kind of crystals or stones or something on them. I still have all the shoes, they're all boxed and everything. But to me, when I think about a trend that has stayed, and this is not for everyone, obviously, but if you purchase a handbag from a certain designer, or you buy a suit from a certain designer, and I'm not thinking of just one, I'm just thinking in general. I have suits from Armani that I bought in 1990 something or other, and they're still as beautiful as they were when I got them. And if you think again, and I'm talking high level, so I don't mean this in any disrespect, but if you think about it, if you have the opportunity to save your money over an amount of time, whatever it might be, to get yourself one good bag or one good pair of shoes, and you think of some of the designers that have been out there for a long time, some of the French and Italian designers, that bag, if it's taken care of, or those shoes, they'll still look as good as they did. You might have to get the shoes resold. And one that I'm thinking of is Christian Louboutin, and not a paid spokesperson, but the shoes with the red soles. And so I know for myself, and I have a number of those shoes, but I don't wear them really at all because they all have heels. But when I was wearing them, I would get the red soles protected. And there were only certain shoe repair places in the country that were allowed, per they claimed, were allowed to actually put this coating that was red. Because if you think about it, the soles are red, so you're going to walk on them and it's actually going to damage the sole, so you can actually go nowhere. But you can actually buy this protective cover that's also red. So that's just one idea. I'm sure there are classic cars. There are things that, if taken care of, can stand the test of time. So when you were doing your research, what did you come up with?
Well, that's some of the things that really came up, is things that either natural, so leather jackets, for instance, the style of the leather jackets might change a little bit, but typically if you take something that has a classic type of style. So one thing that was interesting is when they refer to something with a classic style, they don't mean old-fashioned. They really mean it is simple and elegant and stays in fashion regardless of the time that you are in, which I found really interesting. And even with vehicles, right, there's certain shapes that stays in fashion, clothing, certain things that stays in fashion, ways that we might operate within spaces that stays in fashion. Nature never goes out of fashion. It is always there. So there's certain things that it's more fashionable, and it is normally things that has pleasing, classical lines. So things that conforms to some of our aesthetic shapes that we will also find in nature. So if you think about a shell, Dr. Jacalyn, what is that Fibonacci ratio, is it? I think. There's a specific ratio that they use for paintings and things. So if it complies to that type of ratio, it will most probably be categorized as classic. And as soon as it is in the classic category, you are fairly safe that if you are going to buy that, even in 20 years or 30 years from now, you will still be good.
And along the same lines as that, if you think of classical music, classical music stands the test of time. If you think of opera, stands the test of time. If you think of paintings, oil paintings, I mean, there are certain things that, again, if taken care of, stand the test of time. And when we think of automobiles, and obviously some of these things that we're talking about are at the other end of luxury, but if you think of a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, that body shape style has stayed the same. And I know for myself, at one point I had a Jaguar, which I absolutely loved. I got a really good deal on it. And right after that, they changed the body style, and I've never liked it since. But when I had it, it was one of the long ones, and it had beautiful plush, what are they called? Floor mats. And it was just white leather trim. It was phenomenal, but they changed it. And so to me, that meant that brand wasn't going to stand the test of time for me. Like, I wasn't going to buy another one of those vehicles. But one thing I think that's free, you don't have to have money or privilege to get it or save for a long time, is good manners. Good manners always stand the test of time. And they really are timeless, that when you treat people with respect, it doesn't matter who it is, just a common courtesy, thank you, or please, or may I. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, it falls under the category of etiquette and manners, but it's something that we can all do.
It is something that we can all do. And I think it's interesting that you bring human behavior into this space of trends that stands the test of time, and being human, treating each other well. That does stand the test of time, because who ever in history did not want to be treated well and fairly and with kindness? We all do, no matter whether you are 80 or 8. And no matter whether you grew up in the 1800s or now in present day, it doesn't matter when you are. That kindness and being treated like another human being with respect, that does stand the test of time. And it's almost like, as we evolve as a species, sometimes we forget these things. It is very basic. It's like breathing, right? Being able to breathe, mind you, mindfulness has also stood the test of time, because it brings us back to being present with ourselves. And it is so important to do that. We forget it when we go into the busyness of life, and it's only getting busier, which isn't necessarily a good thing. I had a wonderful conversation thinking about classical music, Dr. Jacalyn, that you mentioned earlier. I had a wonderful conversation with somebody the other day, and we noticed together that if we have sound on top of sound on top of sound on top of sound, what we actually call that is a noise, because we cannot really discern what the hell's going on. Whereas if we have silence and then we bring some sound into it, like classical music or whatever music it is that you enjoy, that silence gives us the opportunity to then appreciate whatever the sound is that comes in. So silence is also one of those classics that we can always rely on, and think about all the other ways that we can potentially bring in things that can stay trendy forever.
I love that you just shared that about silence, because I don't think you know this, but last night I did a show. I have a new show called Let's Finally Talk, and I did it all about silence, with silence being a tool that you can use in communications so that you can find inner peace and you can maintain that peace. So that is also something that doesn't go out of style. And if you think about, even though today it seems like there's a lot more focus on healthy lifestyle and healthy choices and no sugar and protein and this and that, taking care of yourself is timeless. Treating yourself well is timeless. And these are things, again, that you don't have to have money, wealth, and status to be able to do, because it all starts with what's in here, with what we say to ourselves. What are we telling ourselves every single day? One thing I really love is where I go to work out, I take a number of fitness classes, as you know, and one of the coaches, Jen, she actually is so motivational. She talks almost through the entire class, but she'll say, look in the mirror, look in your own eyes, because you are strong, you are powerful, and everything she says, it's really true. And I think sometimes we forget that. We get so caught up in what people think about us, or in what this container looks like, or how much money's in our bank account, that we forget that every day that we're on this earth, we have the opportunity to make choices and to change things, or to continue along with things. But it all starts with our head and our heart and how we show up for ourselves. What do you think about that?
Well, that is also timeless. And we can continuously do it. Isn't that wonderful that some of these timeless things are really things that we can do literally at any time, for as long as we live, isn't that part of life?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is. What's interesting, I've discussed this before, obviously with the different generations, and now we have a new generation that's come into play. And I think they took the traditionalists and the boomers and they put us all together in the silent generation or the boomers. But it used to be, to me, when I was growing up, that when your parents would give you something, that whether they gave it to you as a gift or they passed away and you inherited it, that was truly a treasure, that it was something that they had. And I feel that way today, that, I've had a friend who passed away and I'd given her something before she died. And it was nice just to know that she had that, because it was something that was mine and I wanted her to have it. And I don't know that it's like that anymore today, because I'm hearing from some of my friends and colleagues that their children don't want their things. They don't want the dishes and they don't want the pens, and they don't want the artwork, and they just don't want any of it. And so it's interesting. So I guess that's a trend that has not stood the test of time. Just funny, like I'll just show you this. So this is a bag of buttons that were my mother's. They were on one of her coats, and I keep it in this bag and I keep it right next to me every day. And she had, in one of her coats, she had her name, designed for Joyce Kerbeck, and I framed it, and it's right here because it means a lot to me. It's like my mom. There's just a piece of her that's with me. But yet I'm sure, people from younger generations would say that's ridiculous. So I don't think that's a trend that has stood the test of time.
Well, I think the piece that does stand the test of time, though, is how we connect with people that went before us, right? So I know we might think about them as our grandparents or some of our great-great-grandparents. But what's that heritage that we are a part of? And yes, sometimes it's not a great one. I get it. And sometimes it is one that we don't want to think about. And all of the things that we have within that space, going back, if we were to stand in one spot and we were to imagine at the back of ourselves our ancestors standing at our back. That's strength that you can continue to build on. And that stands the test of time. You have that, whether you are consciously thinking about it or not. Which is interesting, Dr. Jacalyn, you mentioning the buttons and the things that you had in your mom's coat. I remember going through it wasn't my grandmother, it was my husband's grandmother. And we actually went through her closet to make sure that everything's cleaned up and get rid of stuff that didn't need to be there. And what happened is I actually found a couple of coats that I loved. And this was well after she passed away. So there's always treasures that we can find in different places and spaces if we were only to go and look for it. And I think potentially, I know that for myself, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily think that I would wear a grandmother's jacket. And in saying that, now I do. So as we grow and as we evolve within our own personal space, I think that also changes, and we get an appreciation for the generations that came before us. Yes, they were human, they made mistakes. And I once remember my dad looking through a very, very, very old magazine with some vehicles that was older than he was. And he looked through it and he said, "Oh, these old people used to do funny things." Somebody hang a car over a cliff somewhere. And as he was saying that, I thought to myself, yes, and so did you. So I think, I really do think that it changes as we age and as we grow. So who knows what the nowadays generations might come to love about what their parents or grandparents or great-great-grandparents have or had in their homes. And as I mentioned before, the classics never goes out of style. So if you have something that is made of a natural material or it has a classical design to it, hold on to it, because I can guarantee you at some point it will come back into style and you will kick yourself for throwing it out.
Excellent point, as always. Thank you. We are going to take a quick break, and we're actually going to watch a little promo for my new show, which is every night at 8 o'clock, 7 days a week. So let's take a look, and we'll be right back. This is the show graphic, and here we go. This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Join me on YouTube at Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, on Facebook at Dr. Jacalyn, and on Instagram at Dr. Jacalyn, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk. Yeah, we're actually going to be streaming tonight right after this, and the topic is if they wanted to, they would. Welcome back to our program, A Woman's Prerogative. Thank you so much for being here with myself and with Mariska. So, Mariska, any thoughts about what I just shared about the new show?
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, I've done 6 episodes already. And, there's a lot of pressures, with talking heads when you're just talking by yourself. And it's been a lot of fun, but I felt like having these various channels that are in my name, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, Dr. Jacalyn, I thought I really need to be talking to people. I need to be like communicating with people who are following me instead of just following the whole television network, which is beautiful. But so that's why I started to do it. And it's actually good practice if you think about it. It's a lot of work to do a TV show, number one, but to do one every single night and by yourself is a lot.
I do not even want to take up that challenge. It feels like a lot.
It is a lot. It is. And, you know, something I want to share about something personal, but it also goes along with trends that stand the test of time, at least from what I've always heard growing up till today, is education, is professional and personal development and growth. And so I shared this in one of my programs, but here in the United States, and it's a world-renowned university, it's called Wharton, the Wharton Business School at University of Pennsylvania. So I applied and I got in for their Chief Strategy Officer program, and it starts in December. And I was concerned initially when I was applying because of my age, because they ask your birth date. And I thought, I don't know if I'm too old, but you're never too old to continue your education. And so someone said to me, you have a master's, you have a doctorate, you have all these certifications. Like, what are you doing? Just getting another gold star? And I said, no, I'm continuing to grow. As long as I'm on the face of this earth, I want to continue to learn. And I feel it's incumbent upon me leading a team to be able to take what I'm learning and pass it on to the team. So it is an extensive investment in time and money, but that's what makes it so special. So starting Wharton, December 18th.
That is very exciting. It feels like an early Christmas present.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure the exact time commitment. I think it's 5 hours a week. So we'll see. When I was going for my doctorate, I was working at the same time that I had a part-time job. I had my full-time career. I was traveling. So that's kind of the topic for my next show tonight, which actually is trends that stand the test of time. If people want to do something, they will do it. But we make excuses for them, or they give us excuses and we accept them. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight. But I think that is also a trend, is if you have someone, and by the way, we can extrapolate, we're both coaches. If you know of people who make commitments and then they break them, if somebody breaks a commitment more than 2 times, as far as I'm concerned, that is not someone I can actually trust. Because if they wanted to keep the commitment, they would. But yet they justify breaking it with all kinds of excuses instead of just owning the fact that you committed to doing this. So now you're going to have to do it.
I think sometimes potentially people also don't necessarily realize how much the commitment is their responsibility. They committed to it, right? I didn't put a gun to your head, didn't force you into it. It is you committing to me. Yes, of course, it would be something different if I did put a gun to your head or forced you into it. Then, it's a forced commitment, so something different. And potentially you might be scared enough to still do it, depending on what the outcome was for that one. But commitments definitely, and I love the learning piece. Yes. If we don't learn, yes, I understand that this is a wonderful planet to come and visit for a lifetime and enjoy it. And hopefully in the process of enjoying it, you are also learning something so that you can grow and be a better human than when you came into the space. Because isn't that just good practice for us in general as human beings, to be a better human continuously? If every single one of us only take responsibility of ourselves, not anyone else, just myself, and I become the best person I can be, and the next person becomes the best person they can be, just imagine what a great movement that would be over the whole planet. And we might actually make a big difference. So just focusing on yourself, your own commitments, your own growth. And as per your wise words, Dr. Jacalyn, yes, education, we are never too old to learn. I've heard of 80-year-olds that still goes to university because they still want to learn and improve. So if you are 10 and listening to this, I don't think we have a lot of 10-year-olds subscribing to our channel, but if you are 10 and you are listening to this because your parents made you do this, learning is only starting. Find a way to enjoy it. Find a way to make it fun. And then your whole life will be fun. And of course, if you are 80 and you are listening to this, continue to learn and make it fun till the day that you are no longer on this planet.
I totally agree with you. It's so important to just keep being curious. And I recently was with my great niece and great nephew, and I kind of laugh about this because I had a great time with them, but they were surrounded by books at one point. And being an author, as are you, I was really curious to see which books they would pick up. So I kind of felt like I was having an impromptu focus group. But what I really learned from that is that curiosity that children have, that ability to be so interested in role playing and in just playing games and having fun, that is a trend that has to stand the test of time. We as adults need to embrace this more, I really feel, and have fun, be playful. So when you're getting the education, you're being curious and you're having a good time with it. When you're doing a television show, we always have a good time, right? If you're not having a good time, why show up? So I kind of feel when we talk about commitments and whatnot, the one thing that I've been able to do, and I feel like this is a trend that will stand the test of time for me, is that when someone tells me they're not interested in doing something, let them do whatever it is they want to do. If someone says, like if you came to me tomorrow and said, I don't want to do this anymore, I'd be like, you know what? I still love you. Go do what you need to do, because we can't make people do things they don't want to do. And when they are doing things they don't want to do, you can see it on their face. It's so obvious. It's so painful. So a trend that stands the test of time is enjoying your life, finding the passion, finding the people that you connect with, that you want to spend time with, and you can work really hard, but you can still smile and laugh and have fun.
Yeah, it really becomes play. And that's the thing that kids do so well. And we forget as adults to do that, to play, just have fun. I mean, this is all part of a bigger game, right? If we just see this as a game and we just play at life instead of taking everything so damn seriously, we might actually get a lot further than we are actually at the moment getting. It needs to be fun. We learn through having fun, and you can still do great things even while you are having fun. And if they don't work out for whatever reason that they might not work out, it doesn't feel nearly as bad because we were just having fun. Like, well, the sandcastle fell. Oops. I'll build a new one, look different, and now I've learned something. Don't dig the hole where the sand is too shallow. It will fall. I need to construct my sandcastle in a different way. So we learn from it, and then we still have fun with whatever it is that we have fun with. So yes, Dr. Jacalyn, that is a trend that needs to continue.
Well, one more that I'd like to add, because we are also in a leadership space, is talking about a trend that stands the test of time. It's honoring and recognizing your team members. It's letting people know that you appreciate them. So it doesn't matter as artificial intelligence comes in and businesses change the way they're doing business. It used to be everybody went into an office and everybody then went remote, and now it's a mixture, it's a hybrid. You still have to let people know that you care, that they're important. And I think for me, I've looked at different ways of doing that. We have every week on a Saturday, I recognize the top 10 most viewed TV shows, which takes me about 2.5 hours to do both channels and go through all the things and then post them. But it's important. It's important. And then starting this week in an email, I will be recognizing one person every week who really stood out. And so it doesn't have to be that you have to give people tickets to something or that you have to give people money or points. I sold points-based programs for a long time, and I really believe in them. But, as a small business owner, you can only do so much, and we are global. So to me, I feel like the trend that stands the test of time is letting people know, hey, I care about you. I like you. I'm here for you. You and I will have chats after the show. Like many times we'll have a chat and it's going to be 10 minutes. It's 2 hours and we're still talking because we care for each other and we enjoy each other's company. So you don't have to even be in the same country to let somebody know, hey, I appreciate you.
That is so, so true. And I appreciate the fact that you brought that up. Because I'm currently also busy doing some, what is it called? Burnout. There you go. There's the word that I'm looking for. Burnout coaching. And one of the things that drives people to burnout is not being recognized. So it is so important to recognize the people in our care. If we are a leader, everybody that reports to us and everybody that we interact with, and even if you're not a leader, everyone you interact with, because you are a leader of your life, is in your care. And being able to recognize them for, it doesn't need to be for something they did. It can be for being themselves. It can be for the thing that they bring to the table that makes them specifically themselves and their own strength that they brought. I know that a lot of times we will have conversations, especially in my vocation, with leaders where they have to have some very tricky conversations because something didn't go the way that it was supposed to go, whatever the case might be. And then to look at that person, that other human being in front of you, and seeing their strengths can sometimes be very, very tough, especially if they did something really big that they were not supposed to be doing or that is having some detrimental effects in other places. So looking for something small, 10%, doesn't need to be big. Just a small thing that you appreciate about that other human being before you start with the conversation already makes such a big difference in the way that you will have the conversation. And we can all do that. Everybody that you know has something specific that's special about them, that they bring that's different from everybody else. And sometimes the thing that they bring might not be in alignment with where they are in the world. I had an employee, for instance, that used to, they were within the engineering space, and they would have actually been a lot better suited within the sales space. And I told them that. I told them, I can see that the engineering stuff, it's not your forte. You don't like it. I mean, every time that you need to go out to a job, it's a fight, right? I don't want to fight with you. I really don't. I don't want to have a miserable work environment, and I'm sure you don't want to have a miserable work environment. So let's get you into a space that actually works well for you. And we were able to do that. So understanding what it is that that other human being brings, and it starts with us. We are in control. We are the one responsible for our own life and how we act with other people. And that also will never go out of fashion.
Beautifully said. And what a wonderful way to wrap up another fabulous episode. They just fly by. Mariska, who would you like to contact you, and what is the best way for people to do so?
So if you are a leader stepping into your leadership space, you might be new and upcoming, might have only started leading for a short little while, or you are an established leader and you are thinking about stepping up in your environment and leading from a even better, different place, you are more than welcome to get hold of me. And you can do that via my email address, which is Mariska, MARISKA, at journey2discover.com. Or alternatively, you can also find me on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, if we are not connected yet, you will most probably find me under Mariska D without the de Preer piece of it. If, however, we have somebody in common, like Dr. Jacalyn, you might see my full name and surname and connect there, start the conversation, and we can see how we can bring a little bit more humanness into your leadership space to make those tricky conversations a bit easier and to actually have fun while you are working and not take life so very, very seriously.
Thank you so much, Mariska. And for those who are watching on the live or the replay, you can also reach Mariska through her website, which is journey2discover.com, journey2discover.com. And for those who will be listening on a podcast platform, you can find Mariska on LinkedIn, which she mentioned her name, and you can also find her on her website, again, Journey to Discover. Her name is spelled MARISKADUPREEZ. So thank you, everyone. And Mariska, thank you so much for being here again, taking the time. I love it. What time is it there in Australia?
So at the moment, we are at 10:41 a.m. on a Friday because we already had our time change. And I think you'll have your time change coming up this weekend.
It's coming on Sunday.
Yeah. So it will change again.
Nice and dark, completely pitch black when we get up. So, but that's okay. I'm hoping one day they just eliminate these time changes, but it's not in my control. So, but thank you very much for being here. Thank you, everyone. We're going to sign off. You can actually watch this program on E360 TV. It'll be streaming in the next, I don't have the exact time. I think in 15 minutes, you can find it there. So. Thank you again. Bye, Mariska, for now. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. So there you have it, folks. Another wonderful episode about really things that stand the test of time. And what I really feel, forget about all the material items. I mean, they're great. As I've gotten older, I really could care less. It's about having shelter, food, safety, peace, and a few bucks so that you can enjoy your life. But the things that really stand out to me are treating each other with respect, being a good listener, having compassion and empathy, and showing up. And when we show up fully. If we made a commitment to do something, we honor that commitment because we don't realize how it might affect us in the future and how it might be affecting other people. So there you go. They're my words of wisdom for today. I thank Mariska for being here. We're going to sign off with a sponsorship, which is for the Horseshoe Farm, which is actually for a retreat that I'm going to be leading there. It's the Listening Mentor Wellness Retreat. Everyone is welcome to attend. There will be master classes and workshops, but at the core, you're going to stay at a beautiful property. It's a luxury boutique property. They have a phenomenal spa called the Stable Spa, which is in the old horse stables that were converted. It's pretty cool. And they also have wonderful food, which is farm to table, and that's from the Silo Cookhouse. And you can do sweat lodging. You can actually find out the history of the beehiving that they have there. And of course, there's yoga and meditation, and there's games, and we're just going to have a blast. So take a look, and thanks again. Contact me if you'd like to attend. It's in June 3rd through the 6th. It's open to everyone in the world. Nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Horseshoe Farm has always been more than a destination. It's a living, breathing reflection of community, connection, and transformation. Once a humble family farmstead, it has evolved over the years to become a sanctuary for travelers, seekers, families, and friends alike. Originally reimagined by the Turchin family as an Airbnb property, the farm began its journey into hospitality with simple roots, welcoming guests to experience the beauty and peace of the sacred land. As word spread and the vision deepened, the property organically blossomed into a boutique resort, rooted in the values of slow living, intentional experiences, and the magic of gathering. Today, the Horseshoe Farm is a 90-acre experiential retreat that merges hospitality, wellness, and culinary excellence. It is home to the Stable Spa, the Silo Cookhouse, distinctive lodging options, and a curated calendar of events that nourish mind, body, and spirit. Our guest experience is designed to be both grounding and expansive, where the comforts of luxury meet with the simplicity of nature. At its core, the Horseshoe Farm is about transformation of land, of self, and of community. We are proud of where we've come from. We are confident in who we are today and excited for the road ahead. Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, also known as the Listening Mentor and President and Founder of USA Global TV and Radio. I had the opportunity, the pleasure of attending a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm just recently. I was so impressed with all of the opportunities that were presented to me in this glorious setting, as well as the highest level of customer service, that I've decided to put together a retreat at the Horseshoe Farm in Hendersonville, North Carolina, United States of America, June 3rd through the 6th, 2026. You can expect to have a beautiful time of relaxation combined with learning, community, collaboration. Do consider joining me in this wonderful opportunity to reconnect with yourself, with others, and with nature. For more information, email me at drjacalyn@usaglobaltv.com.
Every woman carries a story of strength, of purpose, of light. Through her courage, the world is transformed. Through her grace, generations are inspired. This is Iconic Women. Within Every Woman Lives a Goddess, a celebration of brilliance, beauty, and empowerment. Join us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. New York, 4 p.m. London time, only here on USA, Global TVR, and Radio. Featuring the iconic Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, honoring voices that shine across the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, to watch and engage with all our content. World-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.